The broken coffee cup proves time travel is impossible. Feynman analysis. There's a moment most of us have felt. A single instant where everything changes, and you wish you could step backward through time just far enough to undo it. Maybe it was something you said, a door you closed, a choice you made without thinking. And in that moment, the past feels so close, just a few seconds away. If only you could reach back and rearrange what happened, the world would be different now. This feeling is so universal, so human, that we've built entire mythologies around it. Stories of second chances, of going back, of fixing the unfixable. But there's a reason those stories live only in imagination. And it's not because we lack the technology. It's not because we haven't discovered the right equation or built the right machine. It's because the universe itself, at its deepest level, forbids it. The past is not a place you left behind. It's not a recording you can rewind. It's something that has dissolved into the structure of everything that exists now. And once that dissolution happens, there is no way to gather it back. This is a story about why. Let me start with something simple. A glass of water sitting on a table. You bump the table. The glass tips. It falls. It shatters on the floor. Water spreads across the tile. Fragments of glass scatter in every direction. Now imagine trying to reverse this. Not with your hands. Not by picking up the pieces. But by reversing time itself. By making the universe run backward so that the broken glass spontaneously leaps back together. The water gathers itself into a perfect sphere, and the glass lands gently on the table, whole again. You know, intuitively, that this will never happen. But why not? After all, the laws of physics that govern the motion of each molecule, each fragment, each vibration, are reversible. If you could track every particle, every quantum of energy, and reverse their velocities perfectly, the math says it should work. So why doesn't it? The answer is not that the laws are wrong. The answer is that reversing time is not just about reversing motion. It's about reversing information. And information, once it spreads, cannot be gathered without knowing where every piece went. When the glass breaks, something happens that goes far beyond the glass itself. The sound of the impact travels outward as a wave. It moves through the air, vibrates the walls, disturbs the particles in the room. Some of that energy turns into heat. The floor warms imperceptibly. The air molecules move a little faster. The light reflecting off the falling glass reaches your eyes. Signals fire in your brain. Memories form. Your body reacts. Your heartbeat changes. The event doesn't stay local. It spreads. And every piece of information that spreads becomes harder to reverse, because now you would need to know not just where the glass is, but where the sound went, where the heat dispersed, what changed in your neurons, what subtle shifts occurred in the entire room. This is what entropy measures. Not disorder in some vague, messy sense, but the spreading of information, the dissolution of a specific state into countless possible states. When the glass was whole, its information was concentrated, one object, one structure. But the moment it shattered, that information scattered into the trajectories of 1,000 shards, into heat, into sound, into light, into your memory. And to reverse it, you would need to reverse all of that. Every air molecule that carried the sound would need to converge back. Every photon that bounced off the falling glass would need to return. The heat in the floor would need to flow backward into the kinetic energy of the shards. Your neurons would need to unfire. This is not impossible because the laws forbid it. It's impossible because the coordination required is beyond reach. You would need to know the exact state of everything the event touched. You would need to influence every particle simultaneously with perfect precision. And even then, the slightest uncertainty, the smallest missing piece of information would cause the whole reversal to fail. The universe does not remember the past in the way a video recording does. It remembers it the way a shattered mirror remembers a face. The information is still there, in principle, scattered across 1 billion fragments. but it is no longer readable. Now let's go deeper. Imagine a room, sealed, perfectly isolated. Inside, there's a candle burning. The flame consumes wax. It releases heat. The heat spreads through the air. The air warms. Molecules move faster in random directions. The warmth reaches the walls. Eventually, the candle burns out. The room is slightly warmer than before. The energy that was concentrated in the chemical bonds of the wax is now spread evenly, diluted into the random motion of trillions of molecules. Could this process reverse on its own? Could the heat in the room spontaneously gather itself back into the candle, reform the wax, relight the flame? The equations of motion don't forbid it. Each molecule, if reversed, could in principle retrace its path. But the probability of this happening by chance is so small that it might as well be zero, not because of a law, because of statistics. There are vastly more ways for energy to be spread out than for it to be concentrated. When the candle burned, the system moved from a rare, special state into a common, generic one. To reverse it, the system would need to stumble backward into that rare state by accident. And the number of accidents required is astronomical. This is the second law of thermodynamics, but not as a rule. As a consequence, the universe doesn't prefer disorder. It simply explores all available states, and there are overwhelmingly more disordered ones. So when we say the past cannot be undone, we're not saying the universe has a rule against it. We're saying the past is a state that has already diffused into everything around it, and gathering it back would require a level of control and knowledge we do not and cannot have. But let's say, for a moment, that we could. Let's imagine you had a device, some kind of machine that could reverse the flow of time in a small region. You point it at a broken glass, and the glass reassembles. What would this mean? It would mean that somewhere, information is being created. Because in order for the glass to know how to reassemble, the machine would need to tell it. The machine would need to contain a record of the glass's original state. But where did that record come from? If it came from observing the glass before it broke, then the machine already knew the answer. It's not reversing time. It's reconstructing the glass based on a blueprint. But if the machine truly reversed time, if it made the universe itself run backward in that region, then the information about the glass's whole state would need to come from the future state, the broken state. And here's the problem. The broken state does not contain enough information to uniquely specify the whole state. There are countless ways a glass could have been whole before it broke. Countless orientations, positions, molecular arrangements. The shattered pieces do not tell you which one it was. So the machine cannot reconstruct the past from the present, because the present does not remember the past in sufficient detail. This is a deep point. The universe does not store a backup. There is no hidden layer where the original configurations are saved. The only place the past exists is in its consequences, and those consequences are incomplete, ambiguous, blurred. Now let's talk about time itself. We experience time as a sequence. One moment follows another. Cause precedes effect. We remember the past, we experience the present, we anticipate the future. But time is not separate from space. This is what Einstein showed. Space and time are woven together into a single fabric. When you move through space, you also move through time. The faster you move, the slower your time flows relative to someone else. This means that time is not a universal backdrop. It's not a river that flows the same for everyone. It's a dimension, interlaced with space, and your motion through it depends on your motion through space. And here's the key point. In this fabric, the past is not somewhere you can go. It's not a place. It's a direction. Imagine a map. On this map, north is the future, south is the past. You are standing at a point, facing north, walking forward. Every step you take moves you north. Now someone asks you to walk south, to walk into the past. But walking south on a map is not the same as undoing your steps. It's just moving in a different direction on the same map. In space-time, there is no direction that points into the past. There is only the forward direction, the direction of increasing entropy, the direction in which causes precede effects. To reverse time, you would need to reverse your direction in space-time. But space-time itself does not have a reverse gear. It only has geometry. You can bend it. You can curve it. You can create strange loops. But you cannot make it run backward, because backward is not a direction in the structure. It's a negation of the structure. Some solutions to Einstein's equations seem to allow for closed loops in time, paths that curve back on themselves, so that you could, in theory, travel forward and arrive at your own past. But every one of these solutions has a problem. Either they require exotic matter with negative energy, which may not exist, or they require conditions so extreme that they would destroy anything trying to use them, or they contain paradoxes that seem to forbid their own existence. The universe appears to protect itself from contradictions. And here's why. Imagine you could send a signal into the past, a message, just one bit of information. You decide to send the signal only if you don't receive it. So if you receive it, you don't send it. And if you don't receive it, you send it. This is a contradiction. The signal cannot both exist and not exist. The universe does not allow this. Not because of a rule, but because contradictions are not states of reality. They're failures of logic, and the universe is not obligated to make your logic possible. If closed time loops existed, they would have to be self-consistent. Whatever happens in them would have to have always happened. You could not change the past, because the past already includes your attempt to change it. But this is not time travel in the way we imagine it. It's a fixed script, a loop with no freedom, no agency, no meaning. And even this might not be possible, because the existence of the loop might require its own creation, which is another form of contradiction. The universe seems to be telling us something. It's telling us that cause and effect are not arbitrary. They're fundamental. They're built into the geometry of reality. Information flows forward. Events create consequences. Consequences do not create events. This is not a limitation. It's the structure that makes anything happen at all. Without it, there would be no distinction between cause and effect, no difference between before and after, no meaning to action, no possibility of change. The fact that you cannot undo the past is the same fact that allows the present to matter. Think about a decision you made. If you could go back and unmake it, then the decision never really happened. It has no weight, no consequence, no reality. But because you cannot go back, the decision is real. It has carved itself into the world. It has changed things. And those changes will propagate forward, influencing everything that comes next. This is what gives time its texture, its significance. The past is not a place you are locked out of. It's the foundation you are standing on. Every moment that has ever happened is still present, in a sense, because it shaped the moment you are in now. The glass broke, and even though the glass is gone, the breaking is not gone. It's in the scattered pieces, in the memory, in the subtle rearrangement of the world. You are made of the past. Your body, your thoughts, your memories are all consequences of things that happened before. But you are not trapped in the past. You are its continuation. And the future is not yet written, because the present is still unfolding. This is the strange beauty of time's arrow. It points in only one direction, but that direction is open. You cannot go back and fix what broke, but you can move forward and build something new. The universe will not let you erase your mistakes, but it will let you learn from them. And maybe that's the deeper answer to why time travel is impossible. Not because the universe is cruel, but because it is honest. It does not offer false hope. It does not pretend that actions can be undone. It does not let you escape the consequences of being real. But it does offer something else. The chance to continue, to change, to create something that wasn't there before. The broken glass will never reassemble itself. But you can sweep up the pieces. You can choose a new glass. You can decide what to fill it with. The past is finished. The present is here. The future is waiting. And the fact that you cannot go back is the very thing that makes moving forward possible.